Hello and welcome back to my channel, everyone. I hope you're all doing fantastically well. Before I start this video, I would like to thank Fractalizer. I believe your tag is, sir or lady, I'm not too sure. Fractalizer, I appreciate the 5 tokens you've given me. I'm pretty new to the whole mines.com, the way it works on tokens and cash and all these sort of things. So the fact that you've given me that is really appreciative. The stuff that I do on this channel, I really enjoy. There's many people that I'm unable to debate because people don't like debating anymore. They don't like telling people what they really think. And the fact that other people think similar to me and are happy to watch my rants, it's a good thing. So again, Fractalizer, thank you very much. I'm really appreciative. Today I would like to talk about a lady that upsets liberals a hell of a lot. The lady's name is Katie Hopkins.
Like a handful of people die, I have no idea what. Like for my money, it is nothing worse than the flu. It's very. I will be coming there one day. That's a direct threat.
The federal government is facing questions over how a far-right provocateur gained entry to Australia.
How can I say it? She really has put a smile on my face today, even though the smile on my face is gone against her in a way. But let me try and explain to you. I'm not too sure whether you're aware that Katie Hopkins quite recently went over to Australia. As far as I'm aware, she went over to Australia because she was going to be starring in a Big Brother over there. So she got a entertainer's visa to go over. However, she needed to quarantine for, I don't know if it was 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, whatever it is. So she carried on with her YouTube channel because she wasn't able to really speak to anyone, and she was getting a little bit frustrated.
Look, darling, we don't need you here. We don't want you here. My Instagram was never about followers or listeners. Just piss off. We don't need your sort.
And she was explaining how she was in this lovely luxury apartment and she was enjoying it, even though she couldn't really do much herself. And she was explaining how they were giving her dinners. She couldn't leave the apartment at all. So at certain parts of the day, they would knock on the door, put some dinner on the side. She would have to wait, I don't know, 30 seconds, a minute, 2 minutes, then open the door, take the food, eat it, and then do exactly the same thing on return.
At the door. When they drop food outside the door, I've been told, right, in all seriousness, by the police officer who checked me in after the sergeant in the foyer had read me the list of rules. The police officer who checked me in told me, when they knock on my door, I have to wait 30 seconds.
And as she's doing these videos, she was talking about lockdowns. And she was explaining that lockdowns don't work, and she's going to prove it all to her YouTube followers. And she said the next time they knock on the door, she's not going to wait. She's literally going to be stark naked. And this is the thing. These are the things I love about that woman, right? She knows how to twist those nipples with the liberals. Severely twist them. So, so she said she's going to be stark naked. She's just going to take the plate or whatever and go and eat her food, right? This, of course, went out to the liberal media, and then the liberal media got into, I don't know, Power Drive. And they started putting out these clips, a reference to refugees and migrants and whatever Katie Hopkins was talking about back in LBC days and all that sort of thing. Taking everything out of context, of course.
Thank you very much for having me on.
Katie Hopkins is a British commentator known primarily for her extreme views on Islam and refugees.
And I have been banned from South Africa for spreading racial hatred.
In 2017, she called for a final solution after a bombing in Manchester by an Islamic extremist and has compared migrants to cockroaches. In June 2020, Twitter permanently banned her for breaching the company's hateful conduct policy.
And saying how she's a far-right person, she hates migrants, anyone with brown or black skin. It's, you know, the typical MSM bullshit without giving real reference to what she was talking about in the first place. Now, I'm not saying that Katie Hopkins is, how can I put it, everyone's cup of tea. I'm sure there's a hell of a lot of people that hate her, but I know for a fact there are people that love to hate her. I'm one of these people that can listen to her all day long. I know that a lot of stuff that she says and does is to literally wind people up and to get views on our channel. So to me, I've got no issues with her at all, and I love the fact that she speaks her mind, right? This is the thing. So she does this whole YouTube thing. The mass media get involved and they start putting out all this propaganda about Katie Price, and then all of a sudden the politicians start getting involved, and then they go to government and say, how have you put Katie Price in Australia? Because 99% of people are unable to get into Australia due to COVID restrictions. And the government at that time turned around and said, well, actually, no, she's coming on an entertainment visa. She's bringing something into the country. She's going to be in Big Brother. Leave it alone.
Monday, the New South Wales government revealed it had backed Katie Hopkins' application to enter the country.
If it can be done in a safe way, then it would generally get approval if it's got a big positive for our economy and for jobs.
So then Katie Hopkins carried on doing her videos, and then the politicians and the liberal media started getting even more and more and more upset, right? So they really went for the government and started to put it all over the media. Katie Price is in our country. We need to get her out. She's far right. She doesn't like brown people, black people, all this sort of shit.
She's made quite inflammatory comments about various segments of society. She has strong views, generally on the right of political opinion, perhaps the far right, some might say.
Good morning, if you're with me here in Sydney, Australia. Now, before you ask, how have I managed to get here? You will know that I have always called lockdown the greatest hoax in human history.
As millions of Australians have been plunged back into lockdown, Hopkins scorned the government's response in a series of updates from quarantine in Sydney, ahead of an expected appearance she was due to make on a Channel 7 reality show, Big Brother.
So then the government come out, because it got so much pressure, the government come out and basically stated, oh, we didn't realise. It must have been a mistake. Oh, we need to get her out because she's far right.
I think that she could actually put our teams in our health quarantine, our staff, to put them at risk and to put our broader community at risk is just completely abhorrent, and I hope she's on the first plane back.
So because Katie Hopkins had triggered these people, they now kicked her out of Australia, not because she broke quarantine rules, because she didn't do the whole naked thing as far as I'm aware, right? She didn't break quarantine rules, she didn't break visa rules, she didn't break any other rules. So the only reason that they've actually got rid of her is because they don't like the way she thinks. That's it. That's the way the mass media work, that's the way politicians work, that's the way that the madness works, right? But all I can think about is that Katie Hopkins is probably either sitting in I don't know, a hotel room waiting for a flight, or she's in the airport right now waiting for her flight, or she's already back in England, who knows. But I can guarantee you, even though she's lost a job in Big Brother, she must be smiling and giggling and thinking, I've done it again. I didn't have to do anything. I didn't have to physically do anything. I just told them what I thought they were going to get upset about, and they did it.
Look, darling, we don't need you here. We don't want you here. My Instagram was never about followers or listeners. Just piss off.